If you're thinking about moving to North Carolina, you've probably already heard about Charlotte and Raleigh. They get a lot of attention, but there's a region in the middle of the state that a lot of people overlook, and honestly, that's part of what makes it so appealing. I'm talking about the Triad, which is made up of 3 cities: Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and High Point. If you're relocating for work, for family, for lower cost of living, or just for a better quality of life, I want to give you the honest, unfiltered guide of what it's like to live here. My name's Melody Davis. I'm a real estate agent based in the Greensboro area, and I've helped a lot of people, many of them relocating from out of state, find the right home in the right community. So what I'm going to share with you today isn't a tourist brochure. It's what I actually tell my clients when they sit down with me and say, Melody, be straight with me. What is this place really like? So let's get to it. First, let's orient you geographically, because a lot of people arrive here not fully understanding how the Triad is actually laid out. Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and High Point form a triangle in the Piedmont region of North Carolina. They're each their own city with their own personality, but they're close enough that many people live in one and work in another without even a second thought. The drives between them are typically 30 minutes or less, which gives you a lot of flexibility in where you choose to plant roots. Greensboro is the largest of the 3, with a population of around 300,000 people in the city. It's the most urban of the group, with a growing downtown, a strong university presence, and a diverse mix of industries. It actually sits right along I-40 and I-85, which makes it a genuine logistics hub. That's actually one of the reasons so many companies have distribution and operations here. Winston-Salem, to the west, has a rich history tied to tobacco and textiles, but it's undergone a serious transformation over the last couple of decades. Today, it's known for its art scene, its medical corridor anchored by Atrium Health, Wake Forest Baptist, and a creative energy that draws a younger demographic. If Greensboro is the practical choice, Winston-Salem is the one with a bit more character. High Point sits between the two and is best known internationally for the High Point Furniture Market, which is one of the largest furniture trade shows in the entire world. It's a smaller city in terms of feel, more residential, and tends to attract buyers looking for value without sacrificing location. Together, these 3 cities give you options. And that's the thing about the Triad that people don't fully appreciate until they're actually here. It doesn't lock you in. You actually have a range, which is a good thing. So let's talk about money, because this is usually what drives the relocation conversation in the first place. The Triad is genuinely affordable, especially compared to where most of my relocation clients are coming from. I work with people coming from the Northeast, California, Florida, and consistently the reaction when they start looking is, wait, this is what I get for that price? Yes, it is. To give you some context, the median home price in Greensboro is considerably lower than Charlotte or Raleigh and dramatically lower than many major metros on the coast. You can find well-maintained, move-in ready homes in solid neighborhoods from $300,000 up. If you're looking at the higher end of the market, the $600,000 to $800,000 range here will give you something that will easily be around $1.5 million or more in markets more like DC, Atlanta, or even San Francisco. Beyond housing, day-to-day costs are actually really reasonable. Groceries, utilities, and dining are all in line with or below national averages. North Carolina's income tax rate is relatively competitive, and property taxes in Guilford County, where Greensboro actually sits, are manageable compared to many northern states. I want to be balanced here. The Triad is not a place where salaries are the highest in some opinions. If you're relocating and keeping a remote job, this is an exceptional value play. If you're coming here to find work locally, you'll want to do homework on the specific industry and role, because compensation varies considerably depending on your field. But for families, for retirees and remote workers, and for people who are simply tired of watching their paycheck evaporate before the month is over, the Triad offers something increasingly rare: financial breathing room. This is where I spend a lot of time with my clients, because where you live within the Triad matters as much as which city you choose. Let me walk you through some of the areas that come up the most often. In and around Greensboro, you've got Irving Park. It's one of the most established and prestigious neighborhoods in our city. You'll find beautiful historic homes, mature trees, and a real sense of permanence. It's the kind of neighborhood where people put down roots and stay. If you're looking for character, craftsmanship, and a walkable feel with proximity to everything, Irving Park deserves serious attention. There's also Lindley Park and Fisher Park, which are adjacent to downtown and appeal to buyers who want an urban feel without sacrificing a neighborhood identity. These areas have seen significant investment and are popular with professionals and younger families. Moving out from the city core, you get into areas like Summerfield and Oak Ridge, which are the northern part of the Guilford County area. These communities are suburban, but not in a cookie-cutter way. There's more land, more space between the homes, highly regarded schools, and a quieter quality of life. A lot of families with children specifically seek out this corridor because of the schools and the environment. I personally work heavily in this area, and it's one I know extremely well. So back inside Greensboro, the areas around Friendly Avenue tend to attract buyers looking for established neighborhoods with good access to amenities, shopping, and major roads without being in the middle of everything. Over in Winston-Salem, we have Buena Vista, which is another historic, high-character neighborhood with strong demand. West End Historic District, similar with gorgeous older homes and a strong sense of community. If you're drawn to Winston-Salem's creative and medical community, these neighborhoods position you well. Clemens and Louisville are suburban communities to the west of the city that offer newer construction, good schools, and a more relaxed pace. They're popular with families and buyers who want more space. In High Point, we have Oak Hollow Lake, which is worth mentioning to buyers who want a peaceful, almost resort-like setting. Properties along the lake offer something genuinely unique for the region. The broader point here is that in the Triad, it's not a one-size-fits-all. There's an entry point in the community for almost every lifestyle. The key is knowing where you actually want your daily life to look like and then working backward to find the neighborhood that actually supports that. If you're moving with children, schools are likely at the top of your list. We are in the Guilford County School District here in Greensboro. Like most large urban districts, it's a mixed picture. There are strong schools within the system with a lot of school choice options. We are in the Guilford County School District here in Greensboro. The good news is that the Triad overall has a number of well-regarded school options that give families additional flexibility. They include charter schools, magnet schools, public schools, and private school options across all three cities, ranging from faith-based schools to college preparatory institutions. Pretty amazing. One of the questions I get from relocation clients is, what is there actually to do there? It's a fair question, and I think the Triad surprises people on this front. Greensboro has a growing food scene. There are genuinely excellent restaurants downtown and scattered throughout our city, thankfully, ranging from elevated dining to beloved local spots that have been around for decades. The restaurant scene isn't New York, but it's real and it's growing. The arts are also well represented. The Greensboro Science Center, the Weatherspoon Art Museum at UNCG, and a calendar of events throughout the year give the city a cultural texture that people don't always expect. UNCG, NC-A&T, and Guilford College all contribute to the intellectual energy of the city and bring programming, events, and a diverse population. For outdoor enthusiasts, the Triad is reasonably well positioned. Lake Brant and Lake Townsend offer boating and fishing. The Piedmont Triad is within a few hours of both the mountains and the coast, which means a long weekend can take you somewhere dramatically different with minimal effort, which is really nice. The Blue Ridge Parkway and Asheville area are roughly only 2 hours to the west, and the Outer Banks are about 3 hours to the east. Very popular places to go. So Winston-Salem's art scene is arguably stronger than the others. The city has a genuine creative community, several respected galleries, a symphony, and SECCA, which is the Southeastern Center for Contemporary Art, that draws serious attention. High Point's claim to fame beyond furniture is a quieter, community-oriented lifestyle. If you're the type who values knowing your neighbors and having a slower pace, that market delivers. One thing worth naming directly, the Triad is a mid-sized metro. If you're coming from a major city or you need the energy of like a New York, Chicago, or LA, this is going to feel a lot slower. But if you're looking for that slower feeling with the amenities close by, then the Triad is definitely worth considering. Since you're watching a video from a real estate agent that has lived in the Piedmont Triad for 45 years, let me give you a clear picture of what the market actually looks like. The Triad has seen meaningful appreciation over the past several years in the housing market, driven largely by in-migration from expensive markets and a limiting housing supply relative to the demand. That said, it has not experienced the same level of volatility that some hotter markets have, thankfully. It's been a more measured, steady climb, which is actually a healthy sign for long-term stability. The luxury market here, which I work in regularly, also has strengthened. There's a segment of buyers coming into the area who are used to a certain standard and are also pleasantly surprised to find that their budget goes significantly further here. New construction at the higher end has responded to that demand very well. Buyers, inventory is competitive in desired neighborhoods and price points. Being prepared, having your financial stuff in order, and working with an agent who knows the local market matters the most. For buyers, inventory is competitive in desirable neighborhoods and price points. Being prepared, having your financials in order, and working with an agent who knows the local market well really matters. Homes that are priced and presented correctly move very quickly. Homes that aren't, they sit for a longer period of time. For sellers, if you're in a well-positioned neighborhood and your home is properly prepared and priced, you're in a favorable environment. The emphasis I put on home preparation isn't just philosophy. It directly affects what buyers are willing to pay and how quickly they move. That gap between a prepared home and an unprepared one is very real. If you're relocating and you're trying to understand whether now is a reasonable time to buy, my honest answer is that timing the market perfectly is less important than buying the right home in the right location for the right reasons. The Triad's fundamentals, affordability, growth, and quality of life I'll support that decision. The Triad doesn't have the name recognition of Charlotte or Raleigh. It doesn't have the coastal appeal of Wilmington or the mountain draw of Asheville. But what it does have is substance. It's a region that rewards people who do their research and don't just follow the headline. If you're seriously considering relocating here, I'd encourage you to come visit, drive the neighborhoods, eat the food, talk to people who actually live here. If you want someone in your corner who actually knows the market, knows the communities, and will be straight with you about all of it, I'd love to be that resource. You can reach me through the link or my contact information in the description. I work with buyers and sellers across the Greensboro area, and relocation is something I genuinely enjoy. There's nothing better than helping someone land in the right place. If this video is helpful, please sure to subscribe. I put out my content regularly on the local market, home preparation, and everything that goes into making a smart real estate decision. I'll see you in the next one.